Well, hi. Um, Obviously, I'm Angel. I've seen, back up for a second. I've been watching since 2023. I've seen over 3,000 of them. I started my page in April of last year, so almost hitting a year. And I kind of just do this for fun while being a single parent, an Army veteran, and working full time.
That's so cool.
So,
You're so good.
how
No
did
worries at
you
all.
how did you get into acting?
I have been acting since probably I would say middle school, and I started doing it through show choir. I actually went to the high school they based the TV show Glee on. So I've been in this world for a while.
So, how did you come across verticals?
Verticals kind of came into my world as somebody who's been like born and raised in LA, been in the like acting world for a while. It wasn't until like halfway through last year that I really like started seriously thinking about verticals, because I had friends that were doing them, or they were like all the talk of the industry, and it was very like polarizing because people have a lot of opinions on working on verticals. And it actually wasn't until at one of my day jobs, I was talking to some of my coworkers, and I was like, I was like kind of considering verticals, but I'm not like sure what it's like to work on set with them. And one of my friends actually works for a production company that does a lot of verticals. And he reassured me of like what it's like to actually work on set and how professional it is and how much fun and easygoing it is. And after that, I was like, okay, I'll start auditioning for them. And that was early August of last year. And by halfway through August, I booked my first one, which was How I Made the Alpha Mine. I was Jasmine, the lead villain in that one, for real short. And after that, I was like, these are so much fun. I'm going to just keep doing these over and over again. And by the end, I took all of the month of December off. By the end of November, I had worked on 8 verticals.
Okay. What was the first experience like on set compared to what you thought it was going to be like?
I just truly had no idea what it was going to be like. I come from a theater background. I went to UC Irvine studying theater, so I didn't spend a lot of time on set. I've been around just like the movie and TV industry for a long time. The only other like on-screen project I did was a TV show on Investigation Discovery called Mean Girl Murderers, like where they're recreating a true crime thing, and that was like a really really small production, and I was in New York for that. But honestly, it's what I would imagine, having like been around a lot more, like just as much as a professional set, working on them just like slightly smaller. And what I actually really really like about verticals is that it's a lot of young people who are just getting their foot out in the industry, a lot of people out of college, so you're kind of watching your career grow with everybody on set, whether it be wardrobe, any of the film crew, the directors. We're all kind of in it together, and we kind of bond through that. And like, it's great to see people's careers like really start out.
Okay. So I know that they film everywhere, but have you been able to travel yet? And if not, where's somewhere you want to travel to?
I have not yet. I really want to travel. I want to go back to New York anytime I get to like visit New York. I have a lot of friends that moved there after college. That's like my main one where I was like, please fly me to New York. Anywhere in the United States, I would be happy. I also want to go to Canada. There are also new verticals that are being filmed in like London, which I'm very excited about. I would love to do that one.
Yeah, I know there's London, China, Turkey, Vietnam, Italy, Australia.
I'm
They
like,
just
anywhere. Put me on a plane, I'll go
expanding.
anywhere. Any excuse. That's one of my 2026 goals, is to travel for work.
Okay. Um, what is the most embarrassing scene that you've had to shoot?
Embarrassing scene. I'm always Little Miss Villain, and I'm doing insane, some like foul things, or just like doing like the weirdest things. I mean, all of my scenes feel kind of the same. The one that I think is not necessarily the most embarrassing, but the most wild one where you're like, what are you doing? Was in Married the Dawn You Threw Away. And I pushed Kaylin down the stairs and then try and beat up the old woman who's actually the Dawn's mom. So she like roundhouse kicks me. And then I distinctly remember I take her cane to like try and beat her. And Kaylin grabs my cane and goes, Morgana, you really don't want to do this. And I remember making the entire crew laugh because the line was so funny because I look her dead in the eyes and I go, God, you're so annoying. And it was like 13 pages of just me pushing this girl down the stairs and then fighting everyone.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Who haven't you worked with that you want to work with? Male and female.
I see there are so many of us where I'm like, I don't even know half of the people where I'm like, oh, you're cool. Like there's people who I've worked with where I'm like, oh, like nice to meet you. And then after the project, I'm like, oh crap, you are like a vertical person. And it just is like right over my head. So like I'm more so in like a creature of habit. If I could like pick my people to work with over and over again, I would. I love working with Kaylin. Working with Luna on this last one was so much fun. Aiden from my first one, he was fabulous. I mean, if I could just like do a powerhouse, like some like huge one. I loved working with Kayla. She was great. On that one, I even forgot. I don't even know if any of us posted from the one that we all did together. It was like she falls in love with her gynecologist one.
Oh, is it the one that just came out?
I think so.
With the one with it's Eric and Fabian.
Yes. Working with both of them was so fun to also see them try and like go at each other. That was hilarious. So truly, I'm not like I don't know if there's anybody out in the world. I mean, I think anyone that like Tessa does really well. And so I think it would be fun to like meet her and work with her. But I'm a creature of habit. If I could pull up all of my homies and work, honestly, Samantha Drews is one of like, we've become such close friends after working on Warlord Queen. Same with Jenna. I loved working with her. I'm just like, I love working with people I've worked with already. I could go on with like everybody I love. But
okay. I mean, that's fair.
Because we're such like niche micro, if you could even call us celebrities, like we're just like known by a very niche group of people because we do this kind of odd weird thing that's just kind of like funny and camp, and we're so normal, just normal actors doing normal actor things, so we kind of like it's like summer camp every time we get together and do stuff. I'm like, yeah, I get to hang out with you for a week, and the likelihood that we will all meet again is like really high because it's like I'll be your like lover in this one, and then I'll be your sister in a different one, and it's like we'll cross paths, or you've worked with somebody who's worked with somebody you know. The circle's so small. My TikToks have been blowing up because the Warlord Queen Vertical has been going really viral. And I've been posting like behind the scenes of it, and everybody in the comments like multiple times are like, I didn't even consider that you guys are real people. I'm like, yep.
That's why I like doing the interviews. It's like I get to see who you are as a person.
Yeah.
The way I've always looked at it is like you're an ordinary person with an extraordinary job.
Yeah.
Because not everyone can be an actor. Not everyone can be a service member or a cop. You can have people not every day being a doctor, but like this is such a small niche community, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah. And the people who love it, I believe so wholeheartedly in like casual consumable content, which is very much so what verticals are. And like it just makes me like joyous that there are people out there who are like, you know what, I unapologetically love this. And I'm like, absolutely, you should unapologetically love the things that you do love. And I love following the fan accounts and seeing people who are like really interested in this and like enjoy it as a hobby, because like life can be very dark and very serious, so might as well enjoy something, because a lot of what we do is very funny and very campy, and like that's why it gets like such a it's not highbrow classy like filmmaking. I'm like, but not everything has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Let us make something that we enjoy for the sake of enjoyment.
Exactly. And like at first, when I first started watching it, 2023, they were so new. I was like, okay, and I watched it in the safety of my home. And now I like throw one on my way to work, and I'm just like, whatever. And people are like, I know people are like looking in, like, what are they do? What is she watching? Because it'll be like an intimacy scene when they look in, and I'm just like, I don't care now.
Yeah, it's just like watching any show. You just get more of them, and they're easier to consume.
They're faster paced, and they come out quicker.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, because at first I was able to do like app by app.
Yeah.
One app would release like 6 and the other one would release like 1, and I'd like be able to collect enough on this app. And now it's like, if I have one Drama Wave, I'm missing out on whatever's on Drama Box and Real Short if I'm not actively trying to watch.
And there's more apps being made. The industry is booming like crazy, and the market is getting flooded. Like there's sometimes where I've gotten to the point now where since I've done a couple, like one's come out and I don't even know that they have come out. And I'm like, wait, I forgot I was in this. Like,
but I mean,
like the gynecology one with Kayla and Eric and all of them. I was like, I forgot about this until my friend from college texted me and was like, I saw you, and sent a screenshot. I was like, I didn't even know that one was out yet.
Wasn't it named something different?
A lot of the ones do get named. Like they'll adjust the name slightly. I don't know what the name is for this one. I haven't gotten my ads of it myself, and I haven't gone to look at it. The name I worked under was Healing Touch.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It's like my ex is my gynecologist.
Oh yeah. Or the one that I'm really upset with was the last one I did, the last werewolf one I did, because I do a lot of werewolf ones. The name that I worked under, which I was like, oh great, this is fabulous. Alpha's Tender Submission. They changed it to Insatiable Alpha Daddy Claims Me Every Night, without any of us knowing. And I was like, cool, that's at the top of my IMDb page. And I do like other things that might look at that and go, excuse me? Where I'm like, ooh, nobody told me that we were changing it to that. Okay. I was like, oh. That's why I'm hoping that algorithmically it starts to like go down, because the other ones I've done are performing better, because I do a lot with Real Short, and their numbers, they have more people on the app, so they get higher ratings. So I'm hoping it is one that you're gonna have to dig through. I'm debating whether I want to change it on my resume to, I don't even know if that would fit, the title so long. I was like, this is crazy.
And there are some titles that are like really long, or like
I have one coming out on Friday, or the 16th. What day is the 16th? It is Friday. I was correct on that. It's Out of My Way, The Mafia Queen Returns. Which I was like, that's 2 sentences.
It's not the worst I've heard.
No, but I was like, why is it so, like, we had to like really abbreviate it in the emails being sent out, where I was like, and you know what, at some point you do so many of these, they start to mix up. And I thought it was like, I was really confused, because I was like, wait, I didn't know it was a mafia one, and then it was a mafia one, but it's also a high school kung fu one. And it was at the same time I was doing the Warlord Queen and the werewolf one. And so my parents would be like, what set are you on today? And I was like, I think it's the mafia one, not the werewolf one, and not Warlord. I'm like, is it because then it was like, the spy is Warlord Queen. And so everything started getting mixed up, where it was like, what am I doing? I'm going to show up and they're going to tell me which one I'm doing.
Or I think Luke Stafford has one where they changed the name to it, but like the original name was Fried Chicken Flash Marriage.
Uh-huh.
Which wasn't terrible, but like
Funny.
it's funny. It was great, and then they changed it, and I was like, I think they should have kept the original title.
Yeah. I think they should say less in the title. I'll click on it more.
And then Noah has one where like it was originally like The Surrogate or something. I don't really like remember what the original title was, but it's now After I Buy Sperm from a Billionaire.
Or there's some on like Actors Access listing when I'm like looking at auditions where I'm like, that title's crazy. And then they changed it to something more tame. Like there was one I did a bunch of auditions for. I didn't get cast in it, where it was like, I think the title was like My Boss Saw My Boobs or something like that. And then they made the title more tame. The one that's been going around that I auditioned for that I was like, this is wild. The working title right now was like, Bottoming for My Callboy Boss. And I was like, oh my God. It also was the first, I don't know if they'll do this, and like there's no contract in me saying I can't talk about this. I didn't sign anything, no NDA. But in the audition, they were having the lead villains say slurs. And I was like, because the first one I did was a gay one.
Mm-hmm.
And there was many times we're making fun of this, like, of the Luna who's like a more feminine man. And I was like, what we're saying definitely at one point could have been just a slur instead, and they just cut it out. And I was like, I wonder if they would say things, because we drop curse words all the time. We're doing like crazy things in verticals, but to sit back and be like, get that audition, I was like, whoa, you should like disclose that this is a part of that, because that is crazy. That is crazy to like jump to that point with verticals.
I mean, there's one on Real Shorts. It's called Pool Boy.
Yeah.
It's just twink. They say twink so much, and I'm like,
no, they had us in the sides that I read. It was saying the F slur. Like, I think I said it 6 times in the audition. I was like,
oh my goodness,
this is crazy. Like, actually insane.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm like, I wonder, I don't know if they're going to change the script. I don't remember what app it was for, or, you know, they might cut the whole thing, because I've been still seeing auditions for it. I was trying to ask around. I was like, did anybody book the bottoming for my CEO call boy? I was like, who's on the bottom one? Because so many people, it even breached containment with my non-vertical actor friends, where they were like, my friend took a screenshot of it and posted it on his story, and he was like, I feel represented. This is the representation I'm looking for.
I love that. So what is something that you like to do besides act?
Oh, I'm like, there's so many things I do besides just one. I competed in pageants for a long time. I'm still debating whether I'm going to go back to continue doing pageants. I picked up pageantry, as I do with a lot of things, which was just like committing to the bit, where I was like, wouldn't it be fun to like side quest and compete for Miss California? And then starting my sophomore year in college up until this last fall, I have been competing across multiple systems. I have won many awards, gotten to serve my community. It has been so much fun. It paid for my multiple study abroad trips in college. And it is a way to just connect with the women around me who are like trying to be like I've met some of the smartest, most articulate and well-rounded women through pageantry. And it's lifelong friendships, and it's a fun, very expensive hobby. And through that, I've gotten really into volunteering. I also love reading. I have been a diehard like romance girl since the beginning. I could write a whole video essay about how like romance novels, Hallmark movies, verticals, they're all very interconnected, and they go back to like original like films from the 60s, and this like market that is mainly marketed towards women that has been like pushed under the rug, but really is the backbone of a lot of entertainment. So I also like thinking. I just like sitting and like pondering like topics, which just sounds like a weird hobby, but I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just sit and like think. You know, have a think.
No, I mean, it makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Because then you could write your own vertical.
This is true. There's a lot that I would love to write for verticals because I have a very active imagination, and I think there's a nuance. I think some of the best verticals are the ones that are a little witty in knowing what they are and are a little tongue-in-cheek with it, where it's like we know that this is a little campy and that there's a joy in that, and really like leaning into that. I also would love to do a lot more horror. I want to do some sapphic ones. There's like there's an endless possibility of verticals that could be done.
There
And I
are.
want to bring all my friends on them.
Is there, on that topic, is there like a genre that is currently and actively being made that you haven't done that you want to do?
There is one going around for a pirate one. And then there's another one that I saw auditions for that's like, because I do a lot of werewolf. But there's a fae one, like for fairies. I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. Throne of Glass, Akatar type of vibe.
Yes.
And I was like, perfect. I haven't done a vampire one, and I'm upset about it. Basically, any fantastical one, but really, my goal for 2026 is I am very much a villain normally, and I want to be let to play a nice, like, soft leading lady, and I think that would be really nice. If I'm like, please, somebody let me be.
Like, just let me be the heroine.
I know. I'm like, I can be a leading lady. I have a really mean face, like when it just said, like, let it be. But you put me in like a floral, and it'll be fine, guys. I can play nice, please, or like a comedy. I think I would love a comedy. There's endless. I just want to do everything. I want to do as much as possible, as well as possible, and just experience as much as this life has to offer.
I mean, I get that.
And verticals move so quickly. So, like, I did what I called my vertical marathon in November, where I was filming for 2.5 weeks straight on 3 different vertical sets. Because that's how much it like goes. I was supposed to get my wisdom teeth out the beginning of December. So I was like, I'm gonna fit as many verticals in before December as possible. So it was back to back. That was Warlord Queen, the Alpha's Tender Submission, that is the Alpha Daddy Claims Me, whatever, you know, that one. And the one that's the Mafia Queen Returns, which is coming out on Friday. And so it was like back to back nonstop. And then I got so sick. My immune system gave up because it's like 12-hour days on set. I was driving up to the Newhall Mansion. I was driving all over to LA. I was down in the OC at one point, all filming these verticals. And my immune system gave up. So I still need like my wisdom teeth out.
No. But I mean, I get that because, like, I think it was Noah. Noah was like, he posted on his story maybe like January, February, maybe. And he was like, just finished day 90 something on set. And we're like, what? And like, it was 90 something straight. And like, no breaks. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
I am such a fragile little like house creature that I'm like, if I don't get 8 hours of sleep in my own bed and like time to wake up, have a glass of tea and journal, my world is shattered. Like, and so when I'm on set 12 hours, I can only do that like 2.5 weeks before everything starts crumbling. So I could not imagine 90 straight days of verticals. The immune system is shriveling up in horror. Like, that's where my brain goes. I was like, oh. I would get so sick. I would get so sick. Yeah.
Do you have any advice for someone who is wanting to become an actor or wanting to get into the vertical space?
Yes. I have a niche. I'm like, yes, I do. I have a very niche interest in specifically like the business side of show business. And I think the biggest thing I can find out is, or I can advise somebody, is figuring out what makes you unique and how are you brandable both visually and who you are as a person. someone like me, I'm very tall, I'm very striking looking with my bright red hair, the big, like the blue eyes. That's how I appear. I knew instantly, I was like, I'm going to play villains because that is how I appear. And so I market myself as that. And so if you're somebody like, I have a friend who has been working for a while. She's a little bit out of the age range of like all like the vertical stars are a little young, and like visually she looks a little older. She's like, I rock it. I'm a day player on like a bunch of these supporting. I'm doing this over and over and over again. And she's considering dyeing her hair gray so she can start playing the mom roles. So it's finding out how you appear as a person. Like if I looked like this, but I had like a very high pitched voice and I was like very sweet and I was actually like 5 feet tall, I would probably be, it would be easier for me to be a lead. Whereas I'm 5'9". When you put me in a pair of heels, I'm towering over some of those lead guys. I have a lower voice. I can, when I drop my face, I just have a very bad resting bitch face. It's like I'm playing villains. And so finding what you can see, market yourself as, and hitting that running. And honestly, it's a numbers game. The moment I started just submitting and auditioning as much as possible, I do it now where my auditions are one take and I just submit it. I don't think about it because I heard some famous actress I was watching an interview. On average, an actor books 1 in every 57 auditions, if they are lucky. And so I just started thinking every audition is just one closer to 57. And when I did that, I had 142 auditions last year. I booked 9 of them. So that's 1 in every 16.
Wow. Okay.
And half of it is a numbers game, half of it's luck, and the other half is, there's 3 halves apparently. The other half is just how you walk into a room and if you're a good person.
3 halves, just a
3 halves,
150%.
whole actor. 3 halves makes a whole actor. Yeah, above all, know who you are and treat everyone kindly. And people will want to have you back because there's nothing worse than walking on a set and dealing with a fucking asshole.
Okay. What is the hardest like scene? And we talked about your most like embarrassing, but your hardest scene to shoot.
Honestly, a lot of those like long haul scenes, villains are written in very like repetitive ways. And with my ADHD, it makes it really, really hard for me to memorize those long scenes because I'm saying the same thing over and over again, just slightly differently. So those long where I'm monologuing, I'm with a weapon, like I apologize to the crew ahead of time. I'm like, I'm doing all the work here. I'm so sorry because I'm going to have to say the same thing over and over again, threaten somebody with a knife. So then I'm working stunts. And there's choreography that I'm learning right before we do this. It's 13 pages of me threatening somebody in the same way, being like, you mutt, you slut, you whore, like, you stole my man. And it's like, but like more eloquent than that. But it's a formula. And so learning those lines, fitting in the actual choreography, I'm in like most of the time barely any clothing. I wore more clothing on doing background on Euphoria than I did doing verticals. So I'm freezing. And the scenes are like mentally challenging because I'm doing gymnastics. And then I'm also like just being very cruel. And I don't like being when I have to be super like sometimes I'm like, oh, like this is fake. But then sometimes I'm like, I'm doing actual torture. And so it just becomes a lot. So those are very difficult when it's those like long monologue sequences where it's the like antithesis where I'm like, we are fighting, I'm monologuing, there's physical stunts, I'm saying the same thing over and over again. And it's normally they stack it all into one day. And so it's like on a like TV show or film, they film 4 to 8 pages. On a vertical, we'll film upwards of 20. So the amount that's in here is a lot.
So I am a critic, obviously. I do a segment. It's called Weekend Watch List. Love it. But I'm also part of a group of 8 other critics. We're called the Vertical View Crew. We have Dahlia, who is at Vertical Films Lover. This is kind of just my little shout out to them because they're all awesome and they all like do things differently and we all have like a different viewpoint on things.
Yeah.
You have Megan, who is Real Drama. She's kind of like the founder of the group. We have This Vertical Slaps, who's Jen and Karen, which I love their name because I don't think I've ever seen a vertical where there's not at least a slap.
Oh, yeah.
We have Hero, who is Vertical_fan, who is the only male of the group, and he does phenomenally. Phenomenally. That was a difficult word for me right now, apparently. Empress Liz, who is Portrait Story Diaries, or it's flipped. I could never remember. We have Escapism via Verticals, who is Sarah. She is amazing. And then we have Aline, who is I.love.verticals. And then there's me, and then there's Katja, who is Short Reel Critic, who has briefly taken some time away, which is understandable. Everybody needs that time. But we all kind of just do things different, and sometimes we'll do like group reviews, and they're all really awesome people. I just like to give them all a shout out and do a little.
I know I gotta go. I need to make sure I try anybody who follows me. I make sure if it's like a Vertical fan account, I make sure to follow it back.
And I would run fandoms for everybody if I could.
Yeah.
I have
a lot of work.
Well, okay, so I have my review page.
I
have Sam Meyerson's fandom. I have Jake Hobbs's fandom. I have Ryan Vincent's fandom. And then I have a page dedicated to Mafia Temptation, which is a series that it's on Candy Jar. And Candy Jar bases all theirs off of books. And there's 3 books to this series. And we only got one of them. And so I'm like, I need the other 2.
I need to work for Candy Jar. They based off the books?
Mm-hmm. So everything that's on, it's Galaxy Books or something. Galaxy Reading. They'll take a book that's on there and they'll turn it into a vertical.
That's so fun. Because I would like that because then I could read the book and be better informed of like the world. Because sometimes I walk in and I'm like, this character work pulling right out my ass.
But like Mafia Temptation, they kept the names the same. They kept, if you go into ChatGPT and you're like, hey, give me an explanation of Mafia Temptation, it'll give you an explanation of the book and it'll also apply to the film.
I like that. That sounds good. Because I'm like, my heart, I grew up in the like Tumblr peak of YouTube. I'm still on Tumblr. Like I am a fandom girl. That's also why I love all the fan pages. Like me, before this, I was listening to the Dan and Phil podcast episode.
I love Dan and Phil.
Oh, one of my tattoos is dedicated to Dan and Phil. I'm a fan girl at heart. I got it after I saw the Terrible Influence tour in New York 2 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm like, Dan and Phil, that's the poster right there. It's the Dan and Phil Terrible Influence poster. If the production's good, they're going to hire a photographer to take photos, like as we're doing stuff. Like when I need to go through my files for the Mafia Queen Returns, whatever that one is, that's coming out on Friday on Real Short. Because they got really good photos of us, and I'm going to go back. And I played like a small supporting character in that one. But I want to go back and find those photos. I like took so long off of posting after I graduated college. And now I'm like only posting for work things. So like all my like it's like my high school drama teacher likes my post. And I'm like, that's so funny. This is a vertical. It gets a little much because I know in the community ourselves, we are even criticizing how like, yes, there's an element of like, oh, we're pretty people doing like pretty people things. And like a lot of this started as is like models doing these, but also like when it gets to things like intimacy, sometimes it gets crazy. And so I know a lot of actors are like less and less wanting to do things like that. And the scripts are getting like more and more wild. The market flooding right now because with the SAG agreement, people are like really, actors are like, I want to get in on verticals. I want to get in on verticals. And so the market is flooding. So the rates are going down for what we were getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first started, the rate for like my villain role was like 500-ish a day. That's like good money. Now it's looking more like 350 or even as low as 200. And it's saying non-negotiable. Do not even submit if you think you can ask for more. Like it's getting wild out there. And then they're asking more and more because what the audiences are looking for is more shock value, but you become desensitized to the things that were shocking before. So they're looking for more and more. Well, the creative teams are wanting to write more diverse stories, more like thoughtful stories, but then the big companies are the ones being like, oh no, we want the same thing over and over again because it's doing well and it's going to make us money. And then they're getting more and more extreme with it. Like in my books, when you're doing intimacy scenes, you should get a pay bump. Any character that I've had that had any sort of intimacy has been paid slightly more because of intimacy. So when I'm seeing things like BDSM on-screen intimacy and the rate is for a leading lady is $600 a day, when at one point it was $1,000+ a day, I'm like, something's going on in the market business-wise. And it's because we're getting a huge influx of actors being like, wait, verticals are like a thing now with big companies buying into verticals.
Yeah.
It's a wild time. And fans can get weird. And maintaining boundaries can be hard too, especially when it comes to like interpersonal relationships and how we present on the day-to-day. Like how like my hobbies and everything like that. It's like I'm like, or jobs or whatnot. And it's like being very aware of how we present on social media and the brand that we put out. And but a lot of people don't necessarily know that because the internet and how we relate to people has changed so much in the last 15 years. And this is even just a whole new step to that. And especially because we don't have the protections that a mainstream actor would. Being born and raised in LA, I have a scar on my finger. My hand is super like dark spray tan, so I'm going to cover my hand. But I have a scar on my finger that I got at Justine Bateman. She's an actress. Her house. I went to preschool with her son, and Dwight from The Office was there when I got that scar. And that's just being a part of being born and raised in LA.
Yeah.
Like I knew way too much about young celebrities' interpersonal lives in growing up in high school. Like when Jacob Sartorius and Millie Bobby Brown were dating, when we were all in high school, I knew way too much information about their personal life because we all lived here and people talk. And like, do you remember the college admissions scandal? Where a bunch of celebrities, like Olivia Jade, the first high school I went to, Lori Loughlin's daughter, she and I went to high school together because I went to a private Catholic all-girls school. And when the documentary came out for that scandal, I watched the documentary, and one of the college counselors like confronts Massimo, being like, she's not on the rowing team. And there was only one male college counselor. So when I watched it, I was like, I know him. That's supposed to be Joey. One male college counselor. And it was like one of those things where I was like, LA is tiny and it's small and we all know everyone. Like I went to school with SpongeBob's daughter. He used to come in and do like special morning announcement either as the voice of SpongeBob or the Ice King.
That's awesome.
Yep. It's a special little world, I know.
But how many lead roles? You've just done villains, right?
Mainly villains. I'm waiting. This is my pitch. How many leads have you done? I'm gonna do some. I'll do some. We'll figure it out. Guys, start a petition. If we have the fan base, start a petition. Get Alexis Jewell as a lead. Somebody will listen.
What vertical have you done that you think needs more attention?
Oh, my first one, How I Made the Alpha Mine. It kind of got swept under the rugs view wise. People didn't love it. It was very polarizing because it is a gay one.
Mhm.
But I was like, you guys like Pool Boy, but you don't like my gay werewolves?
Pool boy and water boy.
Yeah, all of them. You guys like them when they're in the water, but we did have a scene. They don't like. I love that one.
Okay. What is a quote or saying that you live by?
Fake it till you make it.
Okay. If you were a drink, what would you be?
A Shirley Temple and a glass that lights up with a really big curly straw.
Okay. I love it. And then do you have any questions for me as somebody who reviews them, is actively auditioning, and that has seen over 3,000? I keep it at over 3,000 until I hit my next 1,000 mark, and then it'll be over 4,000. I'm pretty sure I've hit over 4,000, but
Is there any scripts or tropes that you feel are the audiences are tired of?
This is a big topic. This is a talked about topic a lot. I know there's some posts about it. A big one that like people really don't like that I've noticed is the abuse to pregnant women, to as much as to where they miscarriage, or the banquet humiliation verts, not the banquet humiliation scenes. We hate those too, but the ones that are just straight vertical entire time they're in a banquet humiliation.
Yeah.
I know those ones are pretty people are pretty tired of. And then like personally me, I don't like seeing domestic violence. As a domestic violence survivor,
Yeah.
it's harder to watch those ones, but
Yeah, I think there's a big problem with how casually we can just write such dark topics in verticals. Like we don't handle such all of those things that you said and list are so serious, and I think they are handled too flippantly in verticals.
or the child abuse ones. Those ones are I understand where they come from, and they're like trying to
I
make trying to make
personally,
the male lead have a redemption, but at the same time, like those are kids. Like
I don't think verticals should have child actors in them. They are not the place for child actors, and if I I would be a very specific one director or like maybe two where I would feel comfortable ever working with a child actor again, because I don't think verticals are a I think as someone who has been in this industry forever, my entire life, has known many child actors. Child actors should be something that we phase out almost entirely, except for spaces that are like Disney Channel, because they know and have built an entire and learned their lesson about how to properly care for child actors. But we don't need them. There's plenty of short people who look young enough to play a child who can legally hold their own and make those decisions. But especially with the children that they have on set that are 7 and younger for verticals, the subject matter and the tonality of verticals are not a place that I think children should be. And I don't like stories with children unless there's a random look, it's Warlord Queen, I think, had scenes where it was these two girls are playing sisters and it's just a flashback scene and it's just those children in one scene. Or oh, we had a kid and it's an epilogue and a child runs up and we all hug and one thing like that. But I was so uncomfortable with the amount of abuse and violence and bad words I said in front of a child on one of my things, where I am very firmly considering never working on a vertical with a child again.
Okay. I know there's a couple, like Logan Hannigan is adorable. Love him. He's phenomenal at what he does. And there's somewhere I'm like, okay, I can appreciate. I think he's in one. He might not be in this one, but it's CEO, your wife runs away with your 6 kids.
Like, why
And
do they need 6 of them?
like right, but like the whole vertical, you see 4 of the kids. You don't see the other 2. So like I'm sitting there and I'm counting. I'm like, okay, there's this kid, this kid, this kid, this kid. One kid is like or two of the kids are the main kids, where like you see them all the time. You see the other 2 occasionally, and then you don't see the 5th kid until like the very like last few episodes, because like the mom is like, or the kids are like some bad guys are like Mr. Big, this, and this, and then towards the end you find out that Mr. Big is that 6th little kid, and we're like, how is this little kid the big boss?
Oy.
But there are some where I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Like the, daddy or mommy, daddy left me to die. I don't understand it. I'm just speaking out of thoughts because, ADHD. Danny Farber does really good. He's a very, very good actor, and he's not actor. Well, he's an actor too. It's funny. He puts himself into all of his verticals.
Yeah. That's the way to get yourself in them.
He's a very good director, and he listens to everything that actors say. He's more about the young adult ones, though, so there's hardly ever any kids now.
That's good.
Like, Logan knows what he's doing.
I think a child. Like, I would need to ask people who have worked with him. But that's good to know that he's good.
Yeah. I think Eric's worked with him. I think. Don't take me for granted.
Yeah.
But he's, he has been a child actor, but he just did Dolly Parton's like Christmas Carol.
Or yeah.
And then he has a life outside of verticals. He's an actual kid.
Yeah.
And so like meeting him in person was like, this is weird, but like
you're just taking
awesome.
It's like trains and cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those.
Like I was in the lobby and I was like talking to his dad, and he ran up and he was like, Dad, I want to go to Wolf Lodge and this, and this, and this. And I was like, this was weird.
Like you're just hanging out.
He's an actual kid, because you don't see it a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But do you have any other questions for me?
I don't. Thank you so much for contacting me. You're the first person I've done like a sit down interview with, so that's fun. Oh, so I'm just happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad you agreed. And you were welcome to send if you enjoyed your experience. I guess I try and be super friendly, and
people have been saying it's like we're gonna get like in 7 years like a documentary on Netflix being like behind the vertical, and it's like all the dark, scary drama, and then I'm gonna be over here like la, 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 la. Yes, a vertical about verticals, that would be camp.
There's one, I think it's called like Pizza Guys versus Zombies or something. Hold on, let me find the name. Like, I know it's super easy to find. It's a vertical that came out, and it sounds very like I've seen a little bit of it, but Pizza Guys versus Vampires.
Period.
That's the name of the vertical.
I want to watch that. That sounds good. I like the campy fun ones, and I want to do more campy fun ones.
Well, thank you for agreeing.
Of course.
Had a great time.
Wonderful. I did too.
And thank you so much for agreeing.
Of course. Have a good one, dear. Best of luck always. I can't wait to see what more you post. Thank you for everything.
Of course. Thank you for coming on.
Of course. Have a good one. Bye.